What's up, Rad Picker? What's going on? You know who it is. No intro videos, no creative thumbnails. Although, I took some time the other night to figure this out, and I'm about to drop all these thumbnails. I know, I'm a average, I wouldn't even say average, I'd say a below average newbie in reselling and the YouTube world, but you know, it is what it is. Those who love it, love it. Those who hate it can date it. I'm not going to get irate. What was that? Shout out to everybody for liking, sharing, subscribing. I am going to say, I've been watching these wormhole videos, not a Baphomet, not a signal there. I don't want to get it twisted. But anyways, I just got done with a 3-day yard sale at my own house and went really, really well. But I realized something. For those of you that don't know, the 127 sale is going on as we speak, and I think it ends tomorrow. The world's longest yard sale, and I was chomping at the bit to get up there, but a neighbor of mine started a neighborhood yard sale, and I was going to do one anyways, but it worked out, so I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It made good money. But man, did I realize something. I love to source, I love to buy. We all do. But if you're in this reselling world, there's a few things. This is my novice advice. There are way smarter people than me out there. Maybe. But there are way better resellers, and they will tell you so. And do not try to usurp their lengthy, legendary struggle up through the roots of reselling to establish themselves as the elite of the elite. And don't you dare try to usurp them, or you will get their security guard. Sidebar. Anyway, you caught me on a Saturday night. I'm feeling good. I just listed a bunch of stuff, and that's my point for this video. I realized I don't need to source right now. I need to be disciplined. I have a massive death pile. Of valuable stuff. And because I started selling live in like January of this year, it kind of gives me a built-in excuse, at least me. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Because I can go live, for instance, this vintage flashlight, military, Boy Scout, flashlight. I don't list it because they're not super high. I always look for bangers, and I'm like, well, I'll sell that live, but I mean, I probably have a buck or two in that. If it's worth 15, I should sell it on eBay because my eBay store is doing fine. I've gotten to the point where I guess I have enough reviews, I guess, that my store is fine. It's literally up to me to list, to make sure I'm shipping out good, because no, I don't do the numbers that your favorite YouTuber does. But I'll just say this, plain and simple. I'm coming, baby. And I'm not coming for you because I'm my own competition. So those of you who are so afraid of somebody taking your views or not mentioning names and all that bull crap, I got news for you. Do not care. I'm going to lift people up. Yep. Just like I said in my very first video, and help people out, and I don't care. So those of you who are interested in reselling content and newbies and just being real, I'm your guy. So my point is this. I have been reselling officially since last June. I sold for probably until August. I don't know when I started my official store. What my point is this, somewhere around 1,000 sales or so. I don't know exactly the number. I think it says on my store now 800 or something. I'm not looking at, I'm looking at my computer, but it's not even up. but I don't break down numbers like that. I know if I have money or if I don't. And for me, I'm a reseller that sells Facebook Marketplace, eBay. I was heavy on District, but like I said, been well noted. I'm not their cup of tea, or they're not my cup of tea. Certain, it just is what it is. All that beside the point. But I am on Whatnot. But Whatnot is a different animal, and that's what I said in my last video. The difference is on Whatnot, without a massive following, you have to sell your stuff for, you know, if you buy something for $1, you got $1 in it, you need to get 2 or 3. Where on District, if you bought something for $1, you can sell it for $1 because you can mask the shipping. That's a giant secret. I let it out. Oh no. Probably get some phone calls. Not to me. There'll be some people calling somebody else talking about mwah. And that's all good. I learned a long time ago. Shout out to Bobby John. Rip. Rest in peace. You can talk good about me. You can talk bad about me. Just as long as you talk about me. And some of y'all will eventually get that. But anyway, moving right along. What I realized is this. I have a lot of valuable stuff. And the stuff I haven't sold live or I've delisted from eBay, I've let sit around. And it's in the hundreds of items at least. And I would try to document some of it. I was going to make some content at the 127 sale, and it's still like, I still will buy. I have no problem going out and buying. I should have went to my neighbors, but I got to realizing, man, the amount of hats I have. And let's go ahead and sidebar. I'm not paid for this, but let's pretend I'm good at editing. And your video has been interrupted by hat cleaner, by professional. Oh yeah. This stuff I ordered off eBay works really well. The sweat rings on hats, the outside, really good. Except, I did notice this bucket hat, for example. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go, folks. Tell me where the stain is. I just corrected myself. Folks, if this brand, probably from China, ever sees me, shout out at the Rad Picker. Banger. Cleans these hats, sweat rings. This thing was brown, like, I don't know, what is brown here around here? I don't know. It got it clean. This bucket hat, boom. Now it's going to be listed. One of my favorite pieces. I bought this last year at the 127 sale, ironically. The woman told me they gave these away to employees. There's only 1,000 made. I'm doubting that now because I've looked it up. But I'm just telling you what I was told. But this is sat on my counter. We don't use it, even though we drink sweet tea here in the South. Unlisted. But here's a little secret for this one in particular. I looked it up, 12, 15 bucks. I'm keeping this bad boy. Sorry, I love it. Awesome Tupperware. Don't even know why I'm showing you that. But I had a gentleman show up to my yard sale, my own. And I had a table set out at the Rad Cave here with my knives and jewelry and stuff, valuable stuff. And I heard this guy say, that looks like my handwriting. Well, I look up, it's this gentleman that I mentioned a lot of my lives when I was on District a lot. Shout out to Little Buddha. And I sold Little Buddha. He's from Detroit, 313. Holler if you hear me. A Raquel Welch Life magazine from the 70s, from Roller Derby or whatever the movie she was in. And we joked all the time. Like, I sold it to him for like $2 or $3. And I bought it off this gentleman. Well, I had made friends with him at a yard sale and last year. Actually, my wife went to it, and she actually called me and said, you got to get over here and buy these vintage magazines. So I went over there, met the guy, ended up sitting in his house, his lovely wife, while people shopped. For those of you, this is the reason some people don't like me, and I'll let the cat out of the bag, is that I'm a nice guy. That's why I have favor. Not just favor because I'm a nice guy, but I have favor either way. I'm blessed coming and going. And some people don't like that. But once again, as the Rad Gilly Times Scott Gillis does, I just was myself, talked to him. So next thing I know, I'm in there looking at postcards from World War II and all this, blah, blah, blah. This guy was in the paper industry, and this is one of the ads. He was into ads, right? So I bought some of these boarded ads. I haven't sold this. I'm going to keep this one cheap. I got a little Cherokee Indian in me, you can see. But I had sold some Frontier magazines. Me and him chit-chat, and he said he has some baseball cards and stuff. He's 87. He gets around well-spoken. And he invited me over, said to call him even tomorrow, which is Sunday. He said, I'd love for you to come over. I promised so-and-so this, but since I finally got a hold of you, and he did tell me, he said, I was mad at you. You were supposed to get back with me, and I told him, I said, listen, I know you called me and left me a voicemail, and I didn't respond. And I said, I did all these lives talking about you, trying to explain to people about this guy I knew that where I got these items I'm selling. There were Kel Welch, the Frontier Times. And whether people believe me or not, that was the guy. And he came to my yard sale, 87-year-old. So shout out to him, a true gentleman. And I will be in touch with him. And I can't wait to see the next load of paper I get. Because he's got ephemera. Is it ephemera? I always want to say ephedra. Like I said, I'm the world's most okayest reseller. So take it or leave it. But I can't wait to go back there because I cleaned up. He goes, you're the guy who bought all the Frontier magazines for $40. And I said, yeah. I said, I sold every one from the 60s. He goes, I got more. And he said, I've got the #1 issue. He said, I'll charge you more. But this guy gave me deals anyway. He was also the gentleman who gave me the silver spatula that I ran that notoriously on District, one of those platforms, that somebody called me and said, do you know that's even silver? You got to test that. And I'm like, please. I know who I'm dealing with. I know what I know. And I'll tell you if I don't. Some of y'all will giggle at that and know what I'm talking about. But some of y'all will be like, what? This guy is so crazy. Anyway, so going back to my Deathpile. I'm looking around. I'm like, Chargers hat, unlisted. I just cleaned it all up. Shooting Club, cleaned it all up. Squeaky clean. Meshback, New Orleans, unlisted. I've got 25 of these. Nashville Predators, cleaned it right up. Cincinnati Bengals, World Series. There's my friends, the Moths. Me and these Moths are friends. Look, I just released them. Relax, people. Ford Racing, Molson Ice. Detroit 313, what? The Rad Picker's back in the house. Yeah, let's switch it up just to let y'all know. Royce the 5'9", Eminem, Isham, Bob Seger, Kid Rock, what do you want? Bob Probert. Yeah, y'all need to respect the D, and I'm not talking about Dallas. Going through the big D and don't mean Dallas. I can't believe what the judge had to tell us. Still in first place. But check it out. Here's AutoZone, right? I saw this hat. Folks, this was brand new cardboard. It had a little dust on the bottle. Took my new mat. Shout out to the Chinese company, the hat professional hat cleaner. Shout at your boy. Send me a big fat check. But anyways, clean these hats up. Swiss Army knife. Vintage Sherwin-Williams, folks. I got hats. I don't need to go source. I do not need to source. Camera. Shout out Hard Rock Resales. Bought this from him with a bunch of film. Never listed it. Never done anything with it. Vintage Sports Illustrated. Vintage Cracked Mad Magazines. JFK. Boom. Boom. It goes on and on, folks. Star Wars, if you should. Retired Star Wars, unlisted. I don't need to go source more. I need to get on the ball, be disciplined, and get this stuff listed. So that is my point to this whole whatever charade this is. But get your stuff listed, man. I am just admitting a flaw I have. I love to buy. I bragged about a book buyout I bought. What was that? 2 weeks ago or whatever. $387 for 127 autographed novels. I did 2 or 3 whatnot shows. Sold, I don't know if I even sold a third of them. And definitely didn't sell them for $3. I had roughly $3 a piece in them. I had exactly $3 a piece in them. Got rid of some, but then I even auctioned some on eBay. Now in the long run, I'll make money, but it wasn't a wise buy to tie up $387. I could buy $387 of stuff like this. By the way, this just sold today on eBay, $37. I got that in, where was I at? In Florida, the first trip. Yeah, the first trip where I was going to go meet, I'm not even going to say his name because he doesn't want people to say his name or his friend's name, so I won't even go there. But quit looking at my profile. If you don't like me and you're going to try to get me banned and all this bull crap, it shows up on my phone. So-and-so is looking at your profile. Get at me, dog. Like, that is wild to me. Wild. Like, don't say I'm nothing or nobody or try to play this or that if you're stalking me. That's all I'm saying. Like, it is what it is. So you can do your subliminals just like I did my subliminals, but just remember, I'm positive you'll watch this. Like, let it alone, and I will shut my mouth. Be glad to. I told you in text that you'll never hear from me again. But apparently that bothers you. That means it isn't me, sweetheart. It may be you. Sold these water shoes, size 10. I bought these for $1 at a yard sale. I've continued, sold some live for a couple bucks. So these are actually cool, man. I'm gonna pop these open because I should have bought every box I had because I think for $1, these water shoes are sweet. They got the little toes, little hiking shoes. You know, they're not super name brand, but they're kind of built like Hirachis. Same factory, I'm sure, as your Nikes come from or whatever. But pretty cool water shoes, sold for like $19.47. I got $1 of these, and I bought like at least a dozen pairs. But they only had 10s. I think a 43 is a 10. Maybe in women's, I don't know. Oh, hello. And I got some 8s. They had 12s, man. I'd have bought myself some. I'd have rocked those, just like my Crocs. But anyways, I got to look, and here's the thing too, because I've seen a lot of comparisons and stuff. This box is from last June. Here's the point. I went to my storage unit for my yard sale, and I realized not only in this Rad Cave, which is like a car and a half garage, this house we rent after we sold our farm until we can build something we want. I got I guess it's really a 1-car garage. It's jam-packed. And I got 3 storage buildings and a shed out back. 3 storage buildings I rent. I'm trying to reduce that to 1. But here are headlights for a vehicle. Never listed. They've been a year sitting in storage. Hey, I wish I could lift up this wooden antique, not antique, vintage, I guess, because it's probably from the 40s or 50s, a wooden record player. Never been listed. Never even tried to sell it. Now, I got porcelain dolls. I'm not into that, but I have some. I didn't get rid of them. I have 47 boxes of car seat covers. Some of these sell for $300-400. I haven't listed them because I bought them, and you got to look up the numbers. I've got a shed full of tools. I brought out my Milwaukee pole saw. I live at a rental now. Now, I could use it, but I'm like, I just bought a brand new battery for that thing, whatever, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, for $275. I sat out here in my yard sale and I had several people ask, is that pole saw for sale? Been used twice. I said $300. No one bought it. That's a steal for somebody. The batteries are $275. I have a charger and 2 batteries and it works great. Like I said, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell this stuff. Like I don't need to source more. I've got stuff, but my problem is selling live. I'm addicted to the live and the quick sale. Even though it's wholesale, you don't always do good. I am going to go into a video this week about what it takes to sell. And I don't care what anyone says. I am a newbie, but I think I have enough experience to give you some real good pointers. Besides some robotic talk about trying to have charisma, I'm going to tell you the truth about just be you, talk truthfully, treat people the way you want to be treated, and it works out. I make mistakes every single day. I've made massive mistakes in shipping, but luckily 98% of people, I would say, have been just gracious as long as you communicate. And in my old profession, which I was a contractor, I hated communication because I'd set out for the day and I work good on the fly. I don't like to I have a plan in my mind, but if it goes sideways, I can deal with that as long as I don't have to stop 15 times and explain it. So I wasn't good at communicating. In this business, reselling, communicating with the customers is easy. I listen to people, and again, I'm not throwing shade at people. Everyone does it their own way. You could pick me apart with everything I do. I promise you that. I got no lies to tell you. But I listen to people, they're like, I don't deal with anyone, I block them. I'm like, on eBay, I block 0. Now, I've only been doing it a year and a couple months. But live selling, I've blocked some people. But it was just a handful because they were a problem. Because in live selling, you also get people that, if they want to sabotage you in any way or disrupt you, they just create fake accounts. And then they can kind of manipulate you and corner you. Again, here I go back into this. I'm trying my best just to be done. But it ties into everything I'm doing this weekend. But trust me, I'm putting one foot in front of the other and trying to just dust it off, water off a duck's back, and all that crap. So I appreciate the motivation and the positive comments, but trust me, I am working on it daily. But as far as the reselling stuff, my advice is, because my mother, and shout out my mother, I love her to death. She's buying, she's getting into reselling, she's doing it, and she's very, very good at the educational part. Seeking out counsel from YouTube or people that sell at thrift stores or own thrift stores. But she will laugh. We'll talk about this later, I promise. Is that the buying is the thing that can hold you back, because it's so easy to buy. I mean, I'm sitting here in my own yard sale, and it's hard for me to sell something for $1 knowing I can get 15 for it. Like, I'm talking about clothing, but I'm like, I haven't listed it. It's been sitting here. I've got hundreds of those items. Get them gone. Get them gone. You'll feel better. I'm trying to get organized, but I can't throw everything away. I'm after this sale, after I go live on Whatnot tomorrow, whatever clothes I'm going to keep. Whatever I sell live, and the rest that are just mid, I'm going to donate to my favorite Helping Hands in Baxter, Tennessee. I'm going down there. If they'll take them, I'll give them to them, along with other stuff. I've got pots and pans. But I'm going into rabbit trails. But I want to say 2 things. This will make some people mad. This is what I do. If you have one of these dogs, whether it's a lap dog or a service animal, emotional dog, come on, trust me, I know a service dog between somebody that says, I need emotional support, so I brought my golden retriever. That's two different things. And I'm a dog guy. Got two dogs. Got a golden retriever, half lab, half pit in the back. And they're well behaved. I got a fenced in yard. But this woman brings her little what's that terrier? Not rat terrier. The one everybody loves. The little Yorkshire Terrier. And my dogs are going crazy. And I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I stayed up till about 3 a.m. watching G.G. Allen documentaries on YouTube. And some of you are going to be like, what are you talking about? Who's that? Some of you are going to be like, what is wrong with you? G.G. Allen was a complete dirtbag. The scariest, dirtiest punk rocker to ever live. He's a piece of garbage, but I'm interested in human psychology, so I watch these things. But anyways, I say that to say I woke up in not the best mood. So I was a little like, this Nespresso is not getting it done. Well, my dogs were barking at 6:30. You know, they're early, well, 6:45. Started at 7, so they were early. My daughter has an MKZ Ford, and sometimes you open the door and there's some sort of electrical problem that if you don't have the keys, you can hear it. It has a certain ding, and it's about to set the alarm off, and you have about 15 seconds. Well, imagine it's 6:45. I live in a neighborhood now at the top of a cul-de-sac, so my neighbors are 20 yards away, and I know it's about to happen. Here comes the alarm, and it's my daughter's car, so I don't know where she left the keys. She does a pretty good job about putting them on the hook or whatever. So I'm running. I go to the front door. Well, I walked out my garage door. It's locked, and I'm counting it down. And it's like 10 seconds. I know the car alarm's about to go. It's 6:45 in the morning. I run through the garage, and them two older women, or customers, were like, "Oh," I just ignore them. I run in the house, get the keys. If the alarm starts going crazy, my dogs start barking. I shut it off. Well, my dogs, I can go over around the corner to the fence and just go, yeah, and they're pretty good about listening. I'm not a dog trainer or whatever, dog whisperer, nothing like that. But my dogs will listen for the most part, and I got them quiet. Well, this woman asked about something. She picked it up, and yesterday we had rain, so I'm pulling off wet tarps. Everything was mostly dry, but I had a few wet clothes, so I'm just in that mood. You're tired, kind of groggy, and not in the mood. And I'm a people person. I can talk to anyone, but I was just not in the mood. Well, she bought something and went to go pay me. Well, she had this little Yorkshire Terrier that was yapping, and then getting my dogs yapping. And she goes, and she's like, "Oh yeah, your dog," and kind of, that passive aggressive where she's being a sweetheart. She wasn't being ugly, but she's just like, kind of in my tired, angry mind, that she's kind of blaming my dogs for barking. And I'm like, first of all, why did you bring your dog? And I really don't care, but the feeling when you're tired and just grumpy, everything's bad. And I'm like, why do you have your dog at my house? Getting my dogs running, at 6:45. So I'm biting my tongue and all that. I'm not a complete idiot. I'm just partial. And I go to pet the dog. She goes, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." And I'm like, this thing's this big. Well, the dog didn't do anything. Well, she goes to pay me, but she's got the dog in her little pocketbook. She has $1. I go to reach $1, and then that little dog, and I lost it, guys. After all I've been through with people kind of running their mouths and me not being able to see them face to face, I said, "I'll tell you what, that dog's about to bite the wrong hand." and she said, and this sweet woman, I'm at fault here. Trust me, it's me. But she said something, but it was still passive aggressive, like kind of blaming me, like, "Yeah, just don't put your hand by his mouth." And I'm going, it's 6:45 in the morning. This is my house, Gus. If you don't like it, you can, if you know Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying. And I go, and so that dog kept like growling, like this little thing. I could just grab his head and just squeeze it, but I would never do that. But that was my thought, is like, and she's just like, "Oh," I go, "Well, that sweet pea ain't as sweet as he acts like he is." "Oh no, he'll bite your hand." I go, "Well, he almost bit the wrong hand." I said, "I'm about to let my dogs out." And I was joking and laughing, but I was kind of like serious. So my point is, if you bring your dog to a yard sale at 6:30 in the morning, I think that's a little disrespectful. Like, unless you got a dog, I mean, I've had people bring them and I could hear them barking in the truck. No big deal. But you bring your dog up and you get the neighborhood stirring. Is that an emotional support dog? Or are you emotionally supporting that dog? I'm sorry, some of you are going to hate me, unfollow me, but don't worry, I've had a rash of the unfollows in the last week. It's all good. I don't blame you. But hey, the moral of the story is I got over it. I grew up. It took me another espresso and a couple of sales, and then I was chipper as can be, and I had the greatest people. Shout out to any of you new followers that came to my yard sale, got a Rad sticker. That I did meet somebody that I'm going to be doing interviews with from Crossville, ironically. I mentioned that briefly, but shout out, and there's more of that to come. But when one door closes, another one will open, always. Don't think you're the only person on earth. I'm talking to myself, the man in the mirror. You're not the only one on earth. You're not the most important person. The world doesn't revolve around you, Scott, Rad. Be good to people. Treat people exactly how you want to be treated. And whether it comes back or not, forgive easily. Man, hug people. This world is crazy enough as it is to be caught up in petty crap over reselling or construction work or your family, where you got to fight over cards, or it's ridiculous. And I'm preaching to the choir because I'm the public enemy number one, the number one offender. Look, trust me, I'm not kidding myself. But man, stay positive, stay picking, stay rad, and please hit that like button and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it costs me everything. Love you, mean it. Till next time, I'm out.